The Alaska Air Group is the holding company for Alaska Airlines. It's got about 780 flights a day carrying passengers and freight to and from the 49th state, yes, Alaska, but it also operates one of the most extensive air cargo lines designed to serve the unique needs of rural Alaska. My guests are Brad Tilden. He is the president of Alaska Airlines, and also with us we have Ray Neidl, a senior aerospace analyst with Maxim Group. Gentlemen, good to have you with us. Brad, I want to start you off by just maybe giving a description of Alaska Air Group, because it not only includes Alaska Airlines, but also Horizon. Give us the distinctions.
Absolutely, Pimm, and thank you for having us on the show. Alaska is a $4.3 billion company. As you said, we operate close to 800 flights a day, 165 aircraft, about 12,500 people. And we fly, obviously, in the state of Alaska. That's about 20% of our route network. But also up and down the West Coast, we have an extensive network into Hawaii. That's about 20% of our network as well. And in the last 10 years, we've been doing a lot more flying into the mid-continent and into the East Coast.
Now, Ray, one of the distinctions I noted doing some research that you've put together is that the Horizon Air division of Alaska is used differently than many of the other major air carriers use their regional divisions. Explain that.
Well, regional airlines right now are being squeezed by most of the airlines. But in the case of Alaska, Horizon is used as a supplement and a developmental type of company. In other words, they go into new routes, develop the market. When the market becomes big enough, then Alaska Air comes in and they put the airplanes someplace else. And they're going down to one fleet type now, the Q400, which is a very, very good turboprop. It's not your typical grandmother's turboprop. It's a 70 or 80 seater that's very quiet and roomy.
Brad, talk a little bit, if you can, about the relationship that you have with your unions. I was describing the company and saying you've got good relationships with customers, but also with your employees. How have you managed to do so?
You know, I think we have excellent relationships with our unions. When 9/11 happened and the industry had to go through all of this change, one of the things we did is we sat down with all the union leaders, and this is the spring of 2003, and we talked about the changes that were going to be required for Alaska to compete and win in the years ahead. And it wasn't all easy. There were certainly bumps and rocky spots along the way. But we are at a point today where we have agreed upon union contracts with all of our groups. And I think for the most part, our folks feel like they're doing well. And importantly, every single employee at Alaska Air Group is in the same gain-sharing plan. And that plan, for what it's worth, paid about a month's wages last year for all of our frontline folks.
All right, Ray, so he's got good relationships with his unions, with his employees. What about the customer satisfaction that exists for Alaska Airlines?
Well, he's got good customer satisfaction as well. I was just on the West Coast last week talking to investors, and everybody was raving about the service on Alaska Airlines. And from my viewpoint, it's very good to have investor relations that are good. And investors, I've found over the years, have become confident in this management. Sometimes you can't believe what management's telling you, but Alaska Airline management has earned a good reputation by being upfront, good times or bad.
All right, I'm going to put you on the spot because I know that Brad is listening here. I mean, what about the actual valuation of the shares of Alaska Air Group?
I think the shares are undervalued. It's trading about 7.5 times next year's projected earnings. My target price of 86 is a 9 multiple. I think with the 5 to 9% growth they do every year, an airline like that produces consistent profitability should be trading at least a 12 multiple, which Alaska Airlines has done in the past.
Brad, how are you managing to grow the airline 5 to maybe 7% a year?
You know, I think we have a terrific group of folks, and I think one of the things we're doing is we look at everything through the eyes of our customers.
Well, how do you manage to do so on the cargo basis? I know that you've got a big operation there as well.
Well, cargo is certainly an important part of it, but when I say look at things through the eyes of our customers, we're talking about things like our employees delivering excellent customer service, and we've won the J.D. Power Award now for 4 years in a row. Operating excellent, we've got terrific on-time performance record, and really importantly, we know that our customers want low fares, so we've got to offer them low fares. And we've done things like get rid of the Saturday night stays and so forth. All of our fares are one-way fares. But then you have to have a cost structure that allows you to offer those low fares. So I think those things have been some of the things that have helped the company be profitable, and that profitability is what's allowed us to grow.
Ray, as Brad was just describing, this idea of low fares but also keeping costs under control, they've got a very consistent fleet, by which I mean they've got the 737, right? That's what they use really at Alaska Air. And then, as you described, the turboprop, the Q400 at Horizon. Is that a key to airline success, that you have similar fleets?
Well, Alaska Airlines is a niche carrier, you might say. It's not serving the world, so they can get by with one or two fleet types. And it's a modern fleet, it's fuel efficient, low maintenance, and having the same equipment type, you save on a lot of costs with spare parts, inventories, and flight crew training.
Brad, where do you want to expand next? Where can we look for more routes from Alaska Air?
You know, we've had a lot of fun with Hawaii, Pimm. We just entered Hawaii 4 years ago, and we're already up to 24 daily trips from the West Coast to Hawaii. I think you can look for us to do a little bit more Hawaii. And then our strengths are really Alaska, Seattle, Portland. We'll continue to grow out of those markets. And over time, we'd like to grow more out of California.
All right, I want to thank you, gentlemen, very much. Brad Tilden joining us as the Chief Executive of Alaska Air Group, and Ray Neidl from the Maxim Group. Thanks very much, Ray, for helping us.